MCQ or short answer question for your patients. I think when we're doing online teaching for the students, I think we should keep up with the tests which we are developing and the class tests which we make. So I'm just going to show you Google Forms. I'm sure everybody has a Google account. So if you type Google Forms into the internet browser, you will see there's an option Google Forms free online service for personal use. So you need to click on this rather than any other option. So you just go in there. It gives you two options. One is a personal and the other is a business. So you want to go on to Google Forms into personal. When you go in there, it will show you if you are making one, it will show you some forms which are available, or you can click on blank and that can show you a new form which is being made. So I'll just go through a new form. Let's see if I make a new form, and first you need to give it a label. So you can say class test fourth year April 2020, and you can say Amiruddin Medical College. So the first thing you want is go into the settings and you can identify it as a quiz, or before going that, I think probably we'll start off with just asking for the name of the students, name. So once you write this, there are different options which are available. Short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox. So I'll go through the simple formats which are available initially. So first is making a short answer. So you can ask, it has to be text. And then you can click on that it is required for everything. If you want to delete this, you can delete this. If you want to make another one like this, you can duplicate this. I can duplicate, so it makes another one. I can change it to roll number, right? So it keeps the same attributes such as required, and it's a short answer. Then I can, if I want to make a new one, I can go and make a new one. The next question that comes in is you go into settings. The other is you can preview your form. And then the third is customize the theme of this thing. So if you want to customize a theme, you can choose a header image, a theme color, a background, and a font. So I've added this. If I wanted to change the color, it will change it to green. The background color I can change like this, and I can add theme options or choose an image if I have available, right? So if I go from there, next thing which I want to do is go on to settings. I think the most important things which we need to do is ask it to collect their emails and then response receipts. As soon as he fills in the answer, you need to give him a response. And requires limit to one response, to one student can only give one answer. So respondent, so I'll leave this not to edit after submit, see summary charts, that is another option which is available. The second thing which you want to do, you can show a progress bar. Yes, you can show here. Shuffle question order for different students. So if they know that if one of the other person is doing it, probably you cannot say that question 1 is answer C for all of these, so that will be jumbled up. So your response has been recorded. Thank you. So this is a message which will go to him when he answers or submits the quiz. Then you need to go on to quizzes. Here the important thing is to click it to make it this as a quiz. So one is you can release the grade immediately, but the main problem with that, one student will answer and he'll know the answers and he'll tell the other people. That is one thing. Although it's an open book test, that can be a debatable question. But the other thing is you can have later after you review the manual thing. Respondent can see any missed corrections, correct answers. So I'm going to highlight correct answers. I'm deselecting that. And I'm deselecting missed questions because I'm going to make everything necessary. Point values is the numbers which you assign into this. So once you've done that, so I'll go in and I'll type in a question. The main feature of glaucoma in a patient is, there are 5 options which I want to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I can say the main feature is, I can say disc or optic disc swelling, optic disc cupping, optic disc drusen, optic disc pallor. So once I've done that, I've made a multiple question. Now I want to identify the answer to this. So the points which I assign is 1 point to this, and then you identify the answer. So optic disc cupping. So this gives you the multiple choice question. The next thing which I'm going to make is, I think is the very beautiful thing in this thing is you can add pictures from your camera or from your photos, a Google Drive. The most important thing which I found was a Google image. So I can say I want to look for an arcuate scotoma, and it'll give me, here is an arcuate scotoma. I choose this and I insert this picture. So once it's inserted, I can ask the question, what type of visual field defect is shown below, right? So you can say arcuate scotoma, add option, you add options, you add option, Jerome scotoma, nasal step, temporal wedge, blind spot bearing, and then you get an answer key for this. First, what you'll do is you identify the points you want to give, and then you identify your answer. So this is an arcuate scotoma. You actually can give feedback to the students as well why this is arcuate scotoma, arches over the macular area. So this, I can save this, so I can make a correction in this at any time. So this is saved. So I've done this, the answering. So if I want to make a correction in this scotoma, the good thing, it is being saved as we are doing it. So you do not, so I make it required for the student. The last part, I think, did I make it required? So you need to make it essential for the student. So there's no choice given to the students. Next one, I think we'll go on to another type of question, that is a short answer. So we can do a short answer question. Patient presents with raised intraocular pressure. What is the most important sequence of events, sequence of treatment for this patient? So you can make a correct answer. Reduce intraocular pressure with topical beta blockers, prostaglandin analogs, right? So this is the correct answer. So I can label is, I can give it 5 points, right? So I've done this. So this is done. So once this is done, you've given the answer, so you can collect on that it is a required question. Then I go to the end and I make another question. So if I want to move this question down in sequence, I just drag it down and bring it down so you can change the sequence as well. So let's see, we can go on to another type of question, such as a linear scale. If a patient presents with reduced vision, which is the most important test, grade from which test will be most reliable, grade from 1 to 5. So you can say 1 is most or least reliable and 2 is most reliable. Or if I don't have 5 questions, so probably I just need to modify this. I'll say Snellen, just say Snellen visual acuity is the So if I say if a patient presents with reduced vision, Snellen acuity is let's see, give the reliability of Snellen visual acuity to pick up visual loss. So you can give like this, and I can give the answer key. So I can give it 1 point and answer feedback, it is most reliable. So this is the answer for this. So once you've done this, so you've done the key for this, then you make it required. Then we can go on to another option, which are, so if I go over here and I give, so let's go on to checker box. I think match the uses of the instruments given below. So option 1 is intraocular pressure, anterior segment, slit lamp, indirect ophthalmoscope. So your anterior segment, you can have fundus, and you can have, I can actually need to change this into tonometer, intraocular pressure. So that is the way you can make multiple questions, and you need to give the answer key. So I can give them 3 points. So I can give individual point, 1 for this, 1 for this, and 1 for this. And then tonometer has to be used for intraocular pressure, slit lamp for anterior segment, and indirect ophthalmoscope for this. So once you've made this, what you want to do is go on to preview, and you see your questions. So you need to use email, and then you match the uses of the instruments given below. A patient sees with raised intraocular pressure. What is the important sequence for treatment for this patient? What type of visual field effect is given below? If a patient presents with reduced vision, give the reliability. Then the roll number and name are coming down. So these are the responses which are available. You can go and see. It's still waiting for responses. You can go back to questions and you can go back to preview. Your email is given below, your roll number and your name is given here. So I don't know why exactly is it not giving this, but let's attempt an answer for this. So if I give my email, suppose I guess this one. So if I say anterior segment, fundus, so I give this. So if I click onto one row for two answers, it won't give this. So you need to do this. So I say reduce intraocular pressure with drops. What type of, so if I say Jerem scotoma, if the patient presents with reduced response, so if I say this, roll number, I give one, name. The main feature of a glaucoma patient is optic disc cupping. Send me a copy of my responses, so you can do that. I can unclick that, and once I submit this, so you're giving page 101, so your response has been recorded. So once that is being done, you can go into responses and see it gives me a summary, the scores of this patient, of this student, frequency questions. Here you can see it is giving all the students at a time. So if you want to see the individual report of this patient, of the student, then you can go on to see the individual. So you can see the class test, and here you can see answered this one correctly. This one was not correct, the Sean's answer question. So this was not correct. So it gives me a total scoring as well. So if I go this, I can go on to the question and see question 1, individually upgraded response. So optic disc cupping, so get 1 out of 1. So it gives you all the individual answers in this area. And this actually is giving a summary of the results. So average result is showing up onto this. And you can release the result to the student as well. Get email notification. You can set that if you want to. And the next question is right. So this is how you actually go about using Google Forms, and you can actually go into your, let's see, I wanted to see a release score. So this is individual. So here you'd go into this thing and then you press this, and this will actually release the score to all the respondents, send them email and release score. So this is actually where you release the score, right? So now the students have got their answers of what their score was. So once you've given the test, so you can release it the next day. So thank you very much for watching. I'm sure we'll get more feedback on how we do this test.